Horace Grant, always one of my favorites. I think the most important thing for the Kings to do this season, I know that guy in there disagrees. I'm not sure how you feel. I think it's getting the Keegan thing taken care of and getting him extended.
Contract?
Yes, getting him extended. Because I think the Kings have a need at wing. They need length. They need defense. They need shooting. He's one of the few guys that has it. And I know you could say he's not what they thought he would be at this point. I still think he's a good player, and you've got him. And to me, that is there's a lot of things you got to do, but to me, that's the most important thing. Extend Keegan. And I know it takes two to tango. You can't extend him if he doesn't want to stay. We'll find out.
I think it's a no-brainer, right? I think, Keegan has done everything he asked for by the organization. He's developed into a good two-way player, really good defender. And so you don't give up on those kind of guys. You don't, leave those guys hanging in the wind, if you will. The question is, how much are you giving them? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even know what the full max is. Maybe we got to get Yasso, whatever that one, capologist guy on or something like that. But, I'm with you. I think you got to re-sign him. And even if you don't view him as
Yossi Gosling,
even if you don't view him as the long-term play, he's a trade chip too. Now you got that big contract. And so, no, I'm with you. I think it's a no-brainer that it gets done.
Yeah, he's an asset that you have, and it wouldn't do you any good. You don't really benefit from deciding, he's not what we thought he'd be at this point, moving off of him.
Right.
It doesn't. Right. You don't benefit from doing that.
You don't benefit, and
and as Jay points out, you got the salary slot that you want to preserve.
You got the salary slot that you want to preserve. And I think it's not often you see a team not extend a guy. Obviously, Golden State didn't do that with Kuminga and everything, but Kuminga and Keegan's been a starter since day one. He's lived up to expectations from the organization. And so, no, I'm with you, man. I think you got to get that taken care of.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've talked to Jerry Reynolds about this. The restricted free agency has been around a long time. You mentioned Kuminga. If you don't extend Keegan, he becomes a restricted free agent. And Jerry says, teams, that was put in there in the CBA for the benefit of teams. And he says, teams don't use it to their advantage. It gives you a chance as a team to say, we want to see what you do another year. I'm not saying they should do it with Keegan, and he wasn't talking about Keegan when he said it. But he said teams now are in such a hurry. You don't want to offend anybody, and we're going to extend you.
Yeah.
And sometimes he thinks teams are better off letting it
just
play
waiting
out a little bit, and then you have a clearer idea how good the guy is before you decide how much you're going to get.
Do you feel like in the case of Kuminga, he viewed it as an insult that he didn't get extended?
Yeah, he probably did. He just has not been a good fit there, and he has felt like he's played well enough to warrant more minutes, and Kerr hasn't liked the fit. Yeah. I don't think he has a future there.
Yeah, and all they have to do is make him a qualifying offer, talking about Kuminga, and then they retain his rights, and then go out there, shop around.
Right. That's the thing. Our buddy Slates pointed that out. He said even if they don't want to keep him, they may be better off keeping him so that they can move him and get something for him rather than just let him leave.
Right. And if I'm the Kings, from a business standpoint, like you were saying earlier, it does make sense not to extend these guys before you have to.
Yeah.
Go out there and earn it. Play it, when I look at Keegan, though, I wonder, would his camp feel disrespected?
I would extend him.
You would extend him, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, the $1 million question is how much, I need to look at, he hasn't made any first teams or anything like that, or all defense or anything like that. So
you'd be probably giving him something around Herb Jones level. And I know Herb Jones has probably played better. And Herb Jones has gotten better. Herb Jones has gone from, he's improved a lot more than Keegan has.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at, SI.com, the fan side of things, did a write-up on what a potential extension Keegan Murray would get. A max offer for Murray would be roughly $246 over 5 years. This will not happen, they're saying. There's no that's all close to $50 million a year.
Yeah.
Like this. He's a 30 to $35 million guy. That's probably where I'd be going with.
Yeah. That's another thing that's going to tell us a lot about the direction in which they intend to head. How do you feel about Keegan?
Let me throw this at you, though, because we had the conversation earlier about OKC and Indiana and their payroll and everything like that. Is Keegan on the championship team your third option, and are you paying your third option $35 million?
Yes and yes. You
comfortable doing that?
You have to. Unless you're going to tear it all down and start over and try to go that younger route. Look at Cat. Cat's what, their second number 2 option? Yeah. What is he making, like 50?
But he's an all-star.
I know.
Cat and Keegan, that's different.
Right. Well, you said 35. You also said a championship team, so I'm assuming you'd have some other people on the roster. I don't have a hard time imagining that, but I'm not going to give him 35 now. What'd you say about 30 now?
Yeah, 30. Yeah, 30.
I would sign off on that in a heartbeat.
Was that 150 or so?
The thing that makes me nervous, and maybe it was nothing, but in his first introductory press conference, Scott Perry was asked about Keegan.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Tristy asked him, and he went, he'll be fine. And you know what I'm going to do? It's like, so maybe he was, didn't want to negotiate in public. I don't know, but it was interesting that he didn't exactly have glowing praise for Keegan. He was non-committal.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't know what they're going to do with him. To your point, I think, Jaden McDaniels signed a 5-year, 131 extension. Is Keegan better than McDaniels right now?
I think he can be. I don't think he's as developed as Jaden McDaniels is.
Yeah.
I think he has a higher ceiling.
So we're talking that $30 million. If you could get him for 28, that'd be even better. But to your point, I do think not only deciding Keegan's contract, but deciding what your views of Keegan are paramount for the Kings. Do you view him as a number 2 option, a potential number 2? Or is he just a glorified role player?
That's why it's so hard to figure out on this team. There's no way on this roster he's going to be a 2, right?
Right.
I would like that, but it's not going to happen. He's not going to get enough
Let's
shots.
say you move on from DeMar. Does he become the number 2 behind Zach? Or is it Domas?
Still Domas.
Damn.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I'm with you, yeah. But I don't know if that's what it should be, though. I think you're right, but it's imperative on Keegan to also be aggressive out there, especially if they trade DeMar. Like, there's enough shots. Keegan, give me 18, 19 shots a game.
Yeah, I would definitely re-up him and extend him.
Yeah.
I could see how you could make the case. We're going to see how this year plays out. We're going to give you a larger role and see if you can become the player we think you can be. I wouldn't do that, but I would understand the logic.
Hold off on the extension.
Let's see if you can take that leap that we
Trey
need
Murphy.
you.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I'm with you. But to do that, you got to clear out some people.
Yeah.
You can't just run it back, Scott Perry, and expect Keegan Murray to average 18 points per game when you got DeMar and Zach out there.
Yeah. The thing is, and Herb Jones, I think I mentioned Herb Jones. I should have mentioned Trey Murphy. Herb Jones was before Trey Murphy.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's not a bad player. He's a good player. You look at Keegan's numbers, they're good. He does a lot of things that help you. He just still hasn't made the improvement that he's capable of. He's a good NBA player.
It'll be interesting, Whitey, because I'm looking at Jabari Smith Jr. out there in Houston. To me, that's kind of comparable. What are they going to do with him?
And he was the second pick?
Second pick, yeah. What are they going to do with him? And he's very comparable to Keegan, I think. Long, can defend, can shoot. He's a guy, I could argue Keegan's probably done more in his career than him. But he should get paid too.
Trey Murphy, his extension last October, 4 years, 112.
They got him on the cheap. He went out there and exceeded it. He's borderline all-star.
When we come back, conversation continues also. Doug Smith, bottom of the hour from the Toronto Star about all this. Raptors, Giannis, Raptors, Domas talk. That more coming up.